Hello my students, today we are going to study Unit 5. First of all, we have to deal with the new vocab pool, a study in which people are asked for their opinion about something. Contenders, people that compete with other people to try and win something. Number 3, proclaim, make known, publicity. Heritage, past and have historical importance for a country. Phenomena, a fact or an event in nature or society, especially one that is interesting or unusual. Categorize, to divide people or things into groups. Controversy, a lot of discussion and disagreement about something. Disapproval, a feeling that something is bad or wrong. Techniques, the practical skills that somebody has a particular activity. Compile, to collect information from different places and arrange it in a list or report. Scholar, a person who studies a particular subject in a great detail. Publicity stunt, an action that is done to get attention. Now let's practice. Number 1 is traditions, language, and customs that exist from the past and have historical importance for a country. Heritage. I want two people into groups. Categorize. An action that is done to get attention. Publicity stunt. The place where people are protected from harm or danger. Sanctuary. Some objects from ancient times are called antiquities. Now let's deal with some easily confused words. Historic, famous or important in history. Historical, connected with events and people in the past. Exhaustive, including everything that is possible. Exhausting, very tiring. Disinterested, fair or impartial. Uninterested, not wanting to or learn more about something. Now let's practice. Number 1, she was disinterested observer of the election and her report was impartial. Number 2, means connected with events and people in the past, historical. If you don't include something in a list, it's called an omission. When you collect information and organize it into lists, you compile it. If you show disapproval, you think something is bad. Now let's deal with the passive lesson for grammar. We make passive form of the verb to be the past participle. The tense of a passive sentence is formed by a verb to be. The site is protected by the National Museum. The buildings have been restored. We use the passive for what? To say what the result of an action is. We are not interested in who did it or the subject, or we don't know, or we don't want to know. Nokia mobile phones are made in Finland. To describe a process, it's also used in formal documents. The monuments were taken down brick by brick and then they were rebuilt on the new site. A new law has been introduced to regulate the traffic in the historic area of the city. When it's obvious who did something, he was operated on a hospital. With an agent, when we think it's important to say who did something or what caused something to happen, the agent is introduced at the end of the sentence with the preposition by. The second goal was scored by Messi. The trees have been blown down by the wind. Now let's practice, my dear students. Number 1, we won't send the report next week. Begin with the report. So the sentence will be the report won't be sent the next week by us. Has the museum restored the ceramic artifact? Have the ceramic artifacts been restored by the museum? The thief was going to take the past out of the country. The past was going to be taken out of the country by the thief. She didn't paint the past. The past wasn't painted by her. They hadn't cleaned our room. Our room hadn't been cleaned by them. Thanks, my dear students.